Hello everyone, it's me Tiffany. Welcome to my channel where I share all things pregnancy, postpartum, and motherhood related. I am a certified birth, postpartum, and bereavement doula, so that means I support women and their families on their journey from conception to postpartum. If you have not had a chance yet, please check out my website. It's sacredarrival.com. You can check out my doula services, childbirth education courses, and you can check out my blogs. So today we're going to dive into the most common question that I get in preparation for birth, and it is, what do contractions actually feel like? I actually have a mom who was due last Wednesday. She's still pregnant, and she's like, I think I feel something, but I don't know. So whether you're pregnant now or just curious, this video will give you a clear picture of what to expect, okay? So we're gonna start off with the basics, all right? So contractions are your uterus tightening and then releasing as your body works to help your baby move down and eventually be born. So it's your body's way of saying we're getting closer to meeting your baby, okay? But what do they actually feel like? And every person's experience is actually different. Like for me, with each of my girls, my contractions will start out in my lower abdomen, and like as it intensified and the level increased, they start to kind of shoot to my back and then to my upper thigh. So once it gets to the upper thigh, I'm just like, yeah, it's getting close to time to push, okay? So let's start out with what it could feel like in the early stages of your contractions. So it might feel more like a menstrual cramp that kind of comes and goes. So it'll be like this tightening of pressure in your lower belly and then like this release, okay? So some people even describe it as a dull ache in their back or in their thighs, like I mentioned earlier with my contractions, okay? They're usually mild, kind of irregular, and you can still like talk and walk and even laugh through these, okay? So when you get to the next stage and the active labor contractions, as labor progresses, the contractions will get a lot stronger, longer, and they'll start to get closer together. And so these will start to feel more like intense period cramps that wrap around from the front of your abdomen to the back, or it could go from the back to the front, okay? You'll feel like a squeezing, a tightening that kind of builds, it peaks like a wave, okay? So to go up at a peak, then it kind of come back down, okay? For some, it feels like a strong wave rolling through their body, all right? And at this point, you might notice you can't talk through these contractions, you can't laugh, you might need to stop, lean up against the wall, squat, do something, you know, and kind of focus on your breathing, okay? Because it's getting more intense. Then we have the transition phase. So during the transition phase, your contractions are usually more powerful. It's the most powerful part, okay? They can feel overwhelming. You can have like this pressure and this intensity in your whole core, all right? And some kind of describe this as like an unstoppable force. It's like your body kind of completely takes over, and this is true. And this is the point where you need to remember your body knows exactly what it's doing to help you and your baby get, help you to get your baby here. So you just have to surrender and let your body guide you at this point, okay? The pressure down below, it starts to increase. You really feel like you have to push, okay? You have to remember though, this stage is going to be a little tough, all right? But you have to remember, this is the end. You're getting close. You're getting so close to meeting your baby, okay? So it's also important to remember that contractions are not going to be like a constant pain that you're going to feel, okay? You're going to be able to get some breaks in between, so it's important to do that, all right? Recenter yourself, kind of focus, all right? Remember also that each contraction has a purpose, okay? And each contraction that you feel is your body's way of getting your baby closer to meeting you. You know, you're at the end, you've waited 35, 36, 37, 38 weeks, depending, and so just trust your body and know that each contraction, each discomfort, that you feel, even though it's getting stronger, it's getting more intense, that you are at the end and you're getting closer to meeting your baby, okay? So just want to hop on here real quick. I'm actually waiting on her to call me and let me know, hey, what's going on. She was having some, discomfort earlier this morning. She went in to be checked at the birthing center and her water had broken, and she is starting to have some contractions. They're a little irregular right now, maybe every 10 to 15 minutes apart. So she's going to go do some walking, and I am going to link up with her a little bit later. And I just wanted to get on here really quickly and share this with you to say, listen, everybody's contractions are different, but to kind of give you a generalized idea of what to expect. So if you find this video helpful, you can share it with someone, and also share in the comments, what did your contractions feel like, okay, when you had them. I also know that some moms say that they don't feel any contractions at all. You have to take them in, they have to be put on a monitor, and they can be contracting, you know, like crazy, and they say like, I'm not feeling anything, and that's also a thing. But for the most part, most of my moms do feel their contractions. They start out irregular, not too intense. They start to build up, and towards the end, very intense. And then you're able to, you know, do what you need to do to get your baby here. But as always, I thank you so much for watching. Comment, like, and subscribe. I'll catch you on the next one.